Welcome to the 2015 Gold Derby TV Awards nominations announcement. We are not Uzo Aduba and Kat Deely, but the next best thing, and we're not early in the morning either. We're here in the evening. This has been going on a long, long time. How many years have we been doing this, Daniel?
This is the 12th year, the 12th annual, and this is our fourth year, I believe, doing it through the Prediction Center instead of through the message boards like we used to.
We love this system. It makes it, I think, way more balanced and way more, well, certainly tons more people get in there and vote this way because it's such an easy drag and drop. And over the years, we nominate a lot of people not at the Emmys. Of course, we nominate people at the Emmys. It's a good way to recognize some people that maybe haven't been so far. So we're going to take a couple of categories at a time, have a good time with it, and Daniel's going to kick us off with the first one.
All right, getting started with the nominees for Best Animated Program. The nominees are Archer, Bob's Burgers, BoJack Horseman, Family Guy, The Simpsons, and South Park. And now moving on to Best Reality Program, and in this category we consolidate reality and reality competition, so they're both eligible here. The nominees for Best Reality Program are The Amazing Race, Hollywood Game Night, RuPaul's Drag Race, Shark Tank, Survivor, and The Voice.
Anything
So happy for
in
that.
those two categories?
Reality program was kind of close. Dancing with the Stars was in 7th place. It missed out by just 15 points. And Big Brother not far behind. Project Runway not far behind. So it wasn't a complete runaway for this 6. Animated program, though, that was sort of a boring category to keep track of because those 6 were pretty much locked in from the word go. I mean, there was no, the distance between 6th and 7th place there was about 90 points.
Well, let me jump into a category we don't offer at the Emmy, or we don't have available to us at the Emmys anymore, but we just feel like we don't make many changes. We use whatever numbers they use, 6 or 7, and we if somebody campaigns in a certain category, we put them there as well. But we are adamant that there be a variety performer category. It takes those people out of the comedy lead and supporting, and I think they deserve their own spot. And so our 6 nominees this year are Jimmy Fallon from The Tonight Show, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey from the Golden Globe Awards. They've won this category the past couple of years. Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live, John Oliver from Last Week Tonight, Amy Schumer from Inside Amy Schumer, and Jon Stewart, one last shot here for The Daily Show. A little surprising not to see Stephen Colbert there.
Yeah. Or Dave Letterman.
Stephen Colbert missed by 2 points. That last
one more person voted or changed their vote.
Yeah, that was very exciting to track because I won't reveal who was the 6th place who was close to him, but he was in and then he was out and then he was in and then he was out, back and forth for a while there, and he missed it by 2 points.
Well, he does make it in for a variety series, Colbert Report, the last chance for that, although he'll be eligible next year for his new variety talk show. Daily Show with Jon Stewart, Inside Amy Schumer, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Saturday Night Live, and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. There are 6 nominees there.
And we don't have a 2% rule, right? If there's an exact tie, we'll have more nominations. Otherwise, we don't.
Exactly. Yeah. You need if there's a 2% rule, Colbert would have fit it.
Right.
And we decided to. This is another place where we decided not to go with the Emmys. There's just so few sketch series. We just decided to combine them together and allow them to compete together.
Mm-hmm.
And very unlike the variety performer race, this was a runaway for these 6 nominees. We were not sentimental about David Letterman. He finished in 7th place. He finished in 7th place, but he was 100 points out of the nomination. So
he was in first place on my ballot on both. So I wanted him to get in there.
And you guys actually know the nominations. I'm experiencing this for the first time with all the viewers watching at home. Of the 4 categories so far, I'm so happy that
Not
Survivor...
that we deprived you, though. You've had them all day. You haven't looked.
I chose not to read them, but Survivor so far is my favorite nomination. I'm so proud that got into reality.
You are the only one. No, I used
Okay,
to
so
like it. Reality is not my thing. So
yeah, you're more of a RuPaul's Drag Race fan.
that's mine. Actually, of the six, the only one I watch is I watch. Well, I guess I watch three of them actually because I do all the stories on The Voice, and I actually like Shark Tank. That doesn't feel like
Yeah.
and then Hollywood Game Night. I've always loved whether it was Match Game or Hollywood Squares or whatever. I've always been partial to those.
Same here.
Well,
So,
you've got
so
the next two, Marcus.
okay, so we're going to do now the movie miniseries supporting actor and actress races. So first we're going to do supporting actress. Angela Bassett for American Horror Story Freak Show. Kathy Bates for Freak Show. Frances Conroy for Freak Show. Sarah Paulson for Freak Show, so that's four. Also, we have Claire Foy for Wolf Hall, and we have Monique for Bessie.
By the way, speaking of Bessie, breaking news today from Tom. The TV movie category is moving over to Creative Arts
Wow.
Oh.
on the Emmy for the Emmy Awards.
That's
I don't know the reasons why. They're always whoever produces the Emmys is always looking to move something or two or three things over if they can because they got a lot to do on the Emmys, but it will not be on the main Emmy ceremony this year.
Wow. And you know what's interesting? I think you pointed this out, Chris, that of all the TV movies, Bessie has something like 12 nominations. All the others combined don't even have 12.
And it could be a year-by-year thing. The Emmy folks might have just been looking and going, of all the races this year, this is not going to be very hard to figure out who's going to win that category. And they don't have to go through a guild on that. If they try to move a writing award or a directing award, they get flack from those guilds.
Hmm. So now for the supporting actors in a limited series or TV movie, we have Michael Chiklis, American Horror Story Freak Show, Damian Lewis, Wolf Hall, John Carroll Lynch, Twisty for American Horror Story Freak Show, Bill Murray, Olive Kitteridge, Corey Michael Smith, Olive Kitteridge, and Finn Whitrock, American Horror Story Freak Show.
Now, I've been enjoying your items. We've been reporting that was another new rule change that nobody knew was coming, that the supportings for the Emmys are actually submitting portions of their, like one episode or one title. So you had a story today with all the ladies, and then we're waiting actually on Finn's to finish up and give you all the titles for the men. But I think it could help somebody like, especially a lesser-known name like Finn or somebody like that. And honestly, Bill Murray's only in the last half hour, so this, he's been our front runner, but that could help him that they don't have to sit through the whole thing for him.
Yeah, I agree.
And it increases the likelihood that people will actually watch it. Because, if people say, okay, I have to judge this person in an 8-hour miniseries, that increases the likelihood that they're just going to be like, check out names they like. But if they know, okay, I have to judge this one sample episode of this person, you're right, it increases the odds that they're going to watch someone like Zoe Kazan, like Finn Whitrock, like, someone like that who stands out but needs to be seen to stand out.
I'm only confused why they're doing it just for supporting and not for lead.
That's right, because all your lead categories at drama and comedy are one episode, so I don't see how they could stand behind it and say, well, they need to see the whole arc. Well, you don't do that on the series races. So,
right. And
really somebody like, it's one reason that I have not had Frances McDormand in number one the whole way, because, well, first of all, her character's very, very testy and unlikable. But she's not the star of the first hour. It's Richard Jenkins. So, and really Zoe, who submitted the first part. So, if they don't watch the whole thing, Frances she's not the star of the first part.
And if you have to pick sample episodes for the lead actors, I sort of feel like it's almost like they're testing it on the supporting categories to see how it goes.
You're right. I think you're right.
If they did that for Best Actress in a movie or miniseries, I would not be predicting Frances McDormand just because. She does not have a standout episode the way a Maggie Gyllenhaal will, the way Jessica Lange will. Like it's a very subtle, very quiet performance. Taking an episode out of context, I really don't think would help her.
Any interesting facts about these two races?
Well, other than American Horror Story Freak Show taking 7 out of the 12 available slots in supporting,
Yeah.
there were some slightly close calls. Seventh place among the men was another Freak Show actor. It was Neil Patrick Harris, and I'm kind of glad he just missed by 6 points because I thought that was just kind of a silly role. Like, we didn't really need to nominate him for that, for being the psycho talking to the dummy. Supporting actress was a little closer. Zoe Kazan was 6 points out. Janet McTeer was 20 points out. So it wasn't runaways for either category. There was some wiggle room there. Some of the Emmy nominees: Dennis O'Hare finished 10th. Michael Kenneth Williams finished 11th. Let me see. Regina King finished 9th for the women. So we had some support for them too, but not enough.
Well, Daniel, you've got the next 3 to finish out the movie categories.
All right. The nominees for Best Movie or Miniseries Actress, Lead Actress, are Maggie Gyllenhaal in The Honorable Woman, Felicity Huffman, American Crime, Jessica Lange, American Horror Story Freak Show, Queen Latifah in Bessie, Frances McDormand, who we were just talking about, in Olive Kitteridge, and Emma Thompson in Sweeney Todd, Live from Lincoln Center.
Isn't that the exact 6 from the Emmys?
That is the exact 6 from the Emmys.
But who do you fault? I mean, for the Emmys and us, that's a strong, strong group.
And it was not even close. It was a strong group of women, and there were so few other women to choose from in this category that there were 100 points between 6th and 7th place here. It was just these 6 were clear sailing for the whole thing.
On my list was Frances O'Connor from The Missing. I thought she was fantastic.
O'Connor did wind up 9th. Kind of surprisingly, she finished below Allison Williams in Peter Pan Live and Anna Gunn at Grace Point. Anna Gunn was 7th and Allison Williams was 8th. And Nicole Kidman in 10th for Grace of Monaco.
Way to go.
And, the lead actors, these do not match the Emmys exactly. Our nominees are Adrian Brody in Houdini, Richard Jenkins in Olive Kitteridge, David Oyelowo in Nightingale, Evan Peters in American Horror Story Freak Show, Mark Rylance in Wolf Hall, and Kiefer Sutherland in 24 Live Another Day.
Nice.
Marcus has got to love that 24.
Yeah. And that Evan Peters one. I think this 6 is better than what the Emmys came up with, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just missing out in 7th and 8th place in this category were 2 of the Emmy nominees, actually. Ricky Gervais finished in 7th. He was 21 points out of a nomination. And Timothy Hutton was 8th. He was just 29 points out of a nomination. So it was relatively close, but that 6 was pretty secure.
And what about the programs?
For best movie or miniseries, we keep those categories consolidated, and our nominees are American Crime, American Horror Story Freak Show, Bessie, The Honorable Woman, Olive Kitteridge, and 24 Live Another Day.
Nice. So only one movie there, right? In 5 minis.
Only one movie, Bessie, which I guess we shouldn't complain too much about them moving TV movie to creative arts, since we didn't really care about any other movies either. Even we nominated Oyelowo for acting, but we didn't really care. I was surprised Wolf Hall didn't get closer. Wolf Hall was 7th, but it was a good 60 points out of a nomination. Nightingale was a distant 8th. So I was surprised how strong this 6 was in terms of the consensus.
Well, especially with Wolf Hall getting 3 acting nominations, that should have meant it had more support.
And getting Claire Foy in, who didn't even get the Emmy nomination.
Right. Well, I'm going to talk first about comedy, and I'll do 3 categories. Let's do comedy episode. Again, something we do that nobody else does. We honor the directors and writers. You'll see their names when we have our nominations lists, and if you go into those candidate areas, you'll see that's who's being honored here together, the director and writers. And for our 6 comedy episode nominees, we have The Comeback with Valerie Gets What She Really Wants, Modern Family with Connection Lost, Parks and Recreation with Leslie and Ron. Parks and Recreation with One Last Ride, the finale. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt with Kimmy Goes Outside, which was their pilot. And Veep with Convention.
Wow. This
Anything
is a
interesting
really
there?
good lineup.
This category broke my heart a little bit because my number one choice was the episode of Looking, titled Looking for a Plot, and it finished in 8th. It was sort of a distant 8th, so I resigned myself to it a while ago, looking as the votes were coming in. But I just wanted it to do a little better in that category. I really wanted that one for Looking. And then you had Chapter 1 from Jane the Virgin, finished 9th. The one that just missed out in 7th place, which was Best New Girl from Transparent, that was 16 points of a nomination.
Hey, was Alive in Tucson in there for Last Man on Earth? Was that close?
That was in the top 10. That finished 10th.
Okay.
For Comedy Guest Actress, we have Elizabeth Banks, Modern Family, Christine Baranski, The Big Bang Theory, Joan Cusack, Shameless, Tina Fey, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Megan Mullally, Parks and Recreation, and Kira Sedgwick for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So we were the first 4 there are all Emmy nominees, and then we went our own direction with the other 2. And before I ask Daniel, I'll go ahead and give you our comedy guest actors also. Adam Devine for Modern Family, John Hamm, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Nathan Lane, Modern Family, Ben Schwartz for Parks and Recreation, Billy Bob Thornton for The Big Bang Theory, and Bradley Whitford for Transparent.
There was some suspense in both of these categories. Guest actress, especially in the early stages of voting, there was a lot of flux before that 6 sort of solidified. There was a point where Kathryn Hahn was in there for Parks and Recreation. She ended up 7th. She missed out by just 12 points. Pamela Adlon, who got a surprise Emmy nomination for Louis, she was in there for a while, and she ended up 8th. And then we had Gabby Hoffman for Girls in 9th, and Laurie Metcalf in The Big Bang Theory in 10th. Best Comedy Guest Actor, really, really close. Michael Rappaport in Louis, who, again, he was my number one choice.
Yeah.
10 points out of a nomination in 7th place. And then Martin Short was just 15 points out of a nomination, or 14 points out of a nomination. 9th place, Paul Rudd for Parks and Recreation, and 10th place, Scott Bakula in Looking. But those 9th and 10th weren't really close.
And let me say, some of the names that you're hearing all along the way here, some of them weren't even on the Emmy ballot. We just felt like, or our forums members would send those names in. We just felt like, some people don't get submitted on the Emmy ballot, but if they're eligible and we think of them, we're going to add them on here. And I think Adam Devine was not on the Emmy ballot. And you mentioned Martin Short; he wasn't. So that's what we like to do, and that we do that in every category to try to honor the best of TV for the year.
I'm noticing a lot of love for Parks and Rec with 2 comedy episode nominations, a guest actor and a guest actress.
They've been one of our favorites for not just me, but the whole website has really loved that show the entire run. I don't know how many times Amy Poehler's won, and tons of nominations over the years. So I don't know where all those votes will go next year.
Amy Poehler has won Comedy Actress 3 times. She has won 8 total performance awards if you count up Parks and Rec Performer of the Year, which she won once. SNL she won twice, and for the Golden Globe she's won twice so far, and she's nominated again for that this year. So she's one of our favorites, and Parks and Rec won Best Comedy Series from us actually just 2 years ago.
Amy, you know how much you're loved here. Come back. You used to do interviews with us. I know you're busy, but come back and join us. We help a lot of people win, don't we, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus, you got the next 2.
All right, so Best Comedy Supporting Actress. And at the Emmys, there are 8 nominees. We only have 6. So it'll be Julie Bowen, Modern Family, Anna Klumsky for Veep, Allison Janney for Mom, Jane Krakowski, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Eden Scher for The Middle, and Lauren Weidman for Looking. Wow.
I was so excited about especially Cher and Weidman. This was one of the most suspenseful categories for me, just watching the votes come in, because I mentioned this before we went live, but between fourth place and ninth place, there was a difference of only 18 points between fourth and ninth. So this could have changed in any number of directions. Aubrey Plaza missed a nomination by 2 points. Carol Kane and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt missed by 11 points. And Mayim Bialik missed by 12 points.
Wow.
So we could have. It sounds like it was similar to the Emmys, where they have that percent rule. So they had to do we couldn't do that, but it sounded like we easily had 9 that everybody was wanting.
Yeah. I think if the 2% rule, if we had done that, I think we would have had 9 nominees.
I'm glad we don't have that. I think if you don't have enough votes, you shouldn't be nominated. That's how I feel. So let's finish out this supporting one. This is comedy supporting actor. We have Andre Braugher for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Titus Burgess for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Ty Burrell for Modern Family, Tony Hale for Veep, Nick Offerman for Parks and Recreation, and Chris Pratt for Parks and Recreation. I feel like Uzo, who finds out she's nominated live on the ceremony. Chris and Nick both getting in. Wow.
And what surprised me when I was I was writing up the announcement that we published after we're done announcing these live. But what surprised me is looking back on our past winners, Nick Offerman hasn't actually won from us yet. I would have thought he'd have won at least once or twice, but he hasn't won yet.
Okay, that's a call to all of our members to that Daniel's saying vote for Nick.
I am just pointing that out. Let your conscience decide.
The last chance on this show.
Yep, pretty much.
I have a feeling Parks is going to do fine with whatever we say or don't say.
And in the Gold Derby forums, you can campaign for, what do we allow? Just one campaign, Chris, because we don't want to bog it down.
Oh, it's not one, but we just say we don't give a number. We just say keep it. Don't like post your ballot. We know you have somebody that's a favorite in every category. Just pick 4 or 5 of them that you really want people to focus on. And by the way, this is one of the few things on Gold Derby that we'll launch the actual event as soon as we're finished, so you can start voting. You can't rank here. You pick one person or one show. You drop it in. That's it. You don't. It's like one of the hardest things in the world to do on some categories. You've got to just pick one, and that's your choice.
And it's so difficult sometimes, but I think it's better that way, because I feel like there are a lot of shows that not everyone watches, and so if you do watch it and you know that person is great, you'll vote for them. But if you don't watch it, you might just rank them like 5th or 6th, and I don't feel like that we're just going to get what everybody watches will be our winners. But it'll also be interesting to see, of all the people who got nominated, those are a lot of points left on the board. I wonder where those votes go if your favorite isn't nominated in a particular category. I know I'm going to have that issue in several places.
Well, not only that, but you were able to rank 3 before, 1, 2, 3. So it's not like, Daniel's looked at the results and he knows all the numbers, and he knows if, say, somebody was way out front in first or close behind in second. We don't know. We can't just say, okay, I bet you anything this person will win now, because we don't know if you weren't a fan of the person that was in first. Maybe where do your votes go? Somebody you had in second or third, somebody was another first place person. We don't know. We can't tell you. We can't even guess on who's going to win a lot of these. All right, you're up, Daniel.
All right. Next up is Best Comedy Actress, and I foresee this category making a lot of people happy. The nominees for Best Comedy Actress are Ellie Kemper in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Lisa Kudrow in The Comeback, Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Veep, Amy Poehler in Parks and Recreation, Gina Rodriguez in Jane the Virgin, and Constance Wu in Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah, I think the forums just exploded over about half of those names.
And what the amazing thing was, I would have expected some of these people potentially to be, sort of borderline, but this 6 was there was a strong consensus behind this 6. Like, these were the 6 early on, and they never budged. There was a 70-point margin between 6th and 7th place.
Well, every name you mentioned there even ones that are regularly at the Emmys, like Julia and Amy. I mean, they all 6 have very passionate supporters. And Amy Schumer, by the way, is over in Variety Performer. If anybody's joining us late, we have a separate Variety Performer category, so she wasn't eligible here.
Yeah, when I saw the guest acting categories, when I was like wondering, like, where is so and so person, then I realized, oh yeah, we have variety categories for that.
Well, what about the men?
All right, for Best Comedy Actor, our 6 nominees are Louis C.K. in Louis, Will Forte in The Last Man on Earth, Jonathan Groff in Looking, Jim Parsons in The Big Bang Theory, Andy Samberg in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and of course, Jeffrey Tambor in Transparent. That was a little closer. That consensus wasn't totally clear. I know there are probably going to be disappointed Silicon Valley fans. Thomas Middleditch just missed out. He was in 7th place, 9 points out of the category. And then it wasn't really close after that. Adam Scott was in 8th place, but he was down by a good 40 points. So it was really that 7 fighting for the 6 slots.
And you're really happy about Groff, Daniel. I'm really happy about Forte, so we're going to have to battle it out because I want Forte to win this.
Well, honestly, I love Tambor in this category too, so I'm actually not 100% sure who I'm voting for. Because I know, Jonathan Groff Looking, not a lot of people saw it, so I'm not counting on him to win necessarily, but I was just really hoping for him to get that nomination, so anything else is gravy for me at this point. But if he wins, I'll be happy to.
I want you to tell me later on which one you chose. I want to see if you're being strategic, or if you think you're playing strategic there, then you're going to say, well, maybe Jonathan can't win, but Jeffrey might could, or whatever. So I don't know who I'm picking in that category. I'm not real sure on that one. That was not my favorite category.
And we have the Emmys host, Andy Samberg's nominated and snubbed at the Emmys, actually.
By the way, when I was doing all of my back behind the scenes stuff, entering all this on their candidate pages, it had not occurred to me that Andy Samberg is a nominee this year. He's a writer among 25 writers on that SNL 40th anniversary special. So cool. He does have a nomination. It's just not what he wanted.
And he's
kind of like what he won for music.
He's already an Emmy winner. Yeah, he's not missing much. Tell that to the Lauren Grahams of the world who are still waiting for their first nomination.
Well, Daniel, we're going to let you do comedy series as well.
All right, and this is another category that I'm sure up front will make people very happy. The nominees are The Comeback, Jane the Virgin, Modern Family, Parks and Recreation, Transparent, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Veep. And you'll notice that we did nominate 7 there. There wasn't a tie there. We decided to expand this category to 7 just like the Emmys did. So there will be 7 nominees for Best Drama Series also.
And for the people in our forums that complain about the Emmys and Modern Family, all of you, nominated Modern Family. You nominated Ty and Julie and Adam and Elizabeth. So and an episode. So don't say anything.
Yes, and you nominated it 7 times. You nominated it more than the Emmys did.
And we have 100 less categories because we don't have the crafts categories.
Exactly.
Jane the Virgin fans.
Anything fun there?
Oh, Best Comedy Series? Oh, that was a tough one. That was other than Best Comedy Supporting Actress, that was probably the closest one to get in on those fringe candidates. Between 7th place and 10th place, there was a difference of 14 points. And so there were points at different points when the bottom nominee was different, like several other times. 8th place, I'm so sorry again, Silicon Valley fans. Wow. Just missed out by 9 points this time. The Big Bang Theory was in 9th place. It missed the nomination by 12 points. And Looking finished in 10th place, missing out by 14 points. So that was a very, and honestly, if we had expanded this category to 10 nominees, I wouldn't complain about that personally.
And what was the winner here last year?
Orange is the New Black actually won. So now that's been moved.
So we're going to have a new winner no matter what.
Yeah, unless it goes to Parks and Rec, which won 2 years ago. Parks and Rec is the only. Modern Family is a previous winner with us too. So anything else would be a first-time winner.
Well, I'm going to move on into drama, and the best drama episode nominees are Better Call Saul for 5-0, Game of Thrones for Hard Home, Game of Thrones for Mother's Mercy, Mad Men for the finale Person to Person, Orange is the New Black, We Have Manners, We're Polite, Orange is the New Black for 40 Ounces of Furlough. Anything interesting there?
There was a little bit of suspense at the bottom of this race. Just missing out by 15 points was, which actually got a surprise writing nomination at the Emmys. The Americans do Male Robot's Dream of Electric Sheep. Lost Horizon from Mad Men was in 8th place. That wasn't too far out. And then after that, it's a big drop. 9th place was Chapter 32 by House of Cards, but that was 50 points out of a nomination.
Okay. And by the way, if people don't understand how we do the episodes, because everything else comes from the balloting, the Emmy ballots and who's entered and who's eligible, we can't enter into our prediction center hundreds of episodes. So we ask in the forums for people to nominate episodes, and whichever 30 get the most numbers, then we put those in the prediction center, and then we come up with the 6 out of those based on people voting. So we want to make it very fair, but there's just no physical way we could enter everything that's eligible. So drama guest actress, I think we're going to make some people squeal over these. Allison Janney, Masters of Sex, Julianne Nicholson, Masters of Sex, Diana Rigg, Game of Thrones, Kiernan Shipka for Mad Men, Cicely Tyson, How to Get Away with Murder, and Lois Smith from The Americans.
Can we just switch these with the Emmy nominations? Because this is 100 times better than what the Emmys did. There's no cameos here. These are legitimate performances. This is awesome.
Which is why, I'll send out emails tomorrow and Friday to all the PR reps and the network people for these folks. And in the email, I always say, be very, very proud of this nomination, because it is from people that passionately watch television. They love television, and if you're getting a nomination from our group, you've been narrowed down to a small field of people that they love. So, and I'll give you the guest actors, and then we'll get some comments from Daniel. Drama guest actor, Beau Bridges, Masters of Sex, Michael J. Fox, The Good Wife, Walton Goggins, Sons of Anarchy, Lars Mikkelsen, House of Cards, David Hyde Pierce, The Good Wife, and Pablo Schreiber for Orange is the New Black.
It'll be interesting to see. Pablo Schreiber actually won comedy guest actor from us last year when Orange is the New Black was eligible as a comedy, so he could potentially win both genres for the same role here. That'll be interesting. Drama guest actor was kind of close. Sam Shepard from Bloodline just missed out by 4 points. And in 8th place, 8th place was actually an addition who wasn't on the Emmy ballot, but based on how the Emmy rules were, he qualifies in this category, which was Conleth Hill from Game of Thrones. He was just 8 points out of a nomination. Courtney B. Vance was in 9th place. He was 20 points out, and Corey Stoll for Homeland finished 10th. He was 25 points out of a nomination. And drama guest actress was slightly less suspenseful. After some changes here and there, that 6 had been pretty much solidified for the last couple of weeks, I would say. Alison Brie was in 7th for Mad Men. We've nominated her before. Carrie Preston in The Good Wife was 8th. Laura Prepon from Orange is the New Black was 9th. And a distant 10th, there was a big drop-off there, Linda Lavin for The Good Wife.
And there was a big change with the Emmys where if you appeared in half or more of the episodes, you could not submit here. And we made that change too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Wherever they fell on the Emmy ballot is where we put them.
And if anyone who wasn't on the Emmy ballot was requested, I used the Emmy rules, which is why, because Conleth Hill is sort of a regular on Game of Thrones, but he only appeared in like 2 or 3 episodes of the show this season, which is why he was not eligible for guest actor from us.
Well, Marcus, what about the supportings?
All right, so Best Drama Supporting Actress. We have Uzo Aduba, Orange is the New Black. Christine Baranski for The Good Wife. Carrie Coon for The Leftovers. Lena Headey for Game of Thrones. Christina Hendricks for Mad Men. And Lorraine Toussaint for Orange is the New Black.
And what about supporting actor?
Supporting actor in a drama series. Jonathan Banks for Better Call Saul. Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones. Walton Goggins for Justified. Michael Kelly for House of Cards. Ben Mendelsohn for Bloodline. And then Mandy Patinkin for Homeland.
So neither category matches up all that well from the Emmys.
With a couple of notable distinctions, we've got Walton Goggins nominated again. He's got 2 acting nominations. Christine Baranski, of course, also has 2 acting nominations. She's in guest for The Big Bang Theory also, so that's interesting. Drama supporting actress, there wasn't much suspense there. That there was a pretty strong consensus around those 6, and they never really moved. Drama supporting actor, there was a little bit of movement. Just missing out were Matt Zushri, if I'm pronouncing that right, from The Good Wife. He missed out by 12 points. Kit Harington missed by 13 points. John Slattery missed by 18 points. And Alan Cumming, who ended up nominated at the Emmys, he missed out by 25 points. So it was pretty close. There were reasonable bets there.
I just love seeing differences. I love seeing people get in with us that didn't get in, especially if they're quite deserving.
Yeah, and it looks like the big switch of Orange is the New Black from comedy to drama is working out for them because they have Uzo and Lorraine, and they have Pablo Schreiber and 2 drama episode nominations as well.
So it's
I
already.
wouldn't say it worked as well though at the Emmys. I mean, I think they had to be disappointed. Well, Daniel, you've got the remaining 3 categories for drama.
I actually think Marcus has drama actress.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. I was trying to divide them. You're right.
Okay, so here we go. Best Drama Actress. Viola Davis, How to Get Away with Murder. Taraji P. Henson for Empire. Juliana Margulies, snubbed at the Emmys, but we have her here for The Good Wife. Tatiana Maslany, Orphan Black. Elizabeth Moss for Mad Men, and Robin Wright for House of Cards. So we have 5 of the 6 Emmy nominations.
Mm-hmm. And who would have guessed that the difference would be that Tatiana Maslany matches, but Juliana Margulies doesn't?
Yeah.
Who's at the Emmys that's not here? I can't think.
Claire Danes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she finished 7th, so she wasn't that far out. By points she was kind of far out. She missed by 29 points, so this was a pretty solid consensus around these 6 people. This category was a little bit heartbreaking to me, just because I love Viola Davis to death. I'm so glad she got in, and I didn't think that was ever really in doubt for me. But people who didn't get in, who I thought had a chance, Kerry Russell didn't get in. She finished 8th. Ruth Wilson. Oh, I love Ruth Wilson in The Affair. She finished 13th. Lizzie Kaplan, who I adore, finished 15th. Gillian Anderson, I know that probably not a lot of people watch The Fall, but I love The Fall. She was 16th. But these are, I mean, they all of those people have more than 100 points when you tally, all of their scores together. So those are all respectable numbers, I would say. Anyone who scores over 100 has done well for themselves, even if they don't get a nomination from us.
How close was Vera Farmiga?
Vera Farmiga was 9th. She was not all that close. She was about 100 points out of nomination position.
I thought she might get in with us. Our fans go, our readers, viewers go crazy for her.
And she was nominated last year, I believe.
Okay, Daniel, you got 2 more dramas.
Okay, Best Drama Actor. The nominees are John Hamm in Mad Men, Sam Heughan in Outlander, pause for the squeal of the internet, Bob Odenkirk in Better Call Saul, Timothy Olyphant in Justified, Matthew Rhys in The Americans, and Kevin Spacey in House of Cards. So only 3 of those match. Just missing out. This was a close one. Kyle Chandler missed by 2 points.
Ooh, ouch.
Howard missed by 10 points. And after that, there was a bit of a drop-off. My personal favorite, Aidan Young, finished ninth for Rectify, although given how little watched that show was, I'm actually kind of happy he did that well. And Freddie Highmore finished 10th.
Yeah, the Outlander people will be thrilled.
And the interesting thing that I mentioned this a little bit before we started going live, but the way point totals go is per category is different. Best Actor was very top heavy. I won't say who, but it was very top heavy in terms of who the top vote getters were. So the fifth place actor finished or had fewer points than the 13th place actress, which spread out and divided the Best Actress lineup was that so many had a lot of support, and it came down to that. But Best Actor was, it took a lot fewer points to get in once the votes were taken by those top few contenders.
I'm very curious with this category because at the Emmys, people think it's going to be Jon Hamm because he's never won before, but Jon Hamm has won Gold Derby TV Awards, so that's not a factor here. So I'm curious to see what'll happen.
Yeah, I don't know about the Emmys either. That's not a pro with me. That at the Emmys where they're very not sentimental. I mean, I wouldn't say that's a pro that you've never won before.
Yeah, that's true.
Some places, yes. I mean, like Globes, they want to make sure eventually you get rewarded. But if you haven't been, but Emmys, they don't. I don't even think they often know. That's why John needs to join us for an interview, like other people who we've really gone out of our way to say, hey, this person has never won an Emmy. We could do that. Make that the conversation.
Especially because the expanded voting now that everyone who was eligible to vote in the nominations phase can vote in the winners phase. So we're going to get a lot more. We used to have like 70, 80 people deciding a category. We're going to have potentially hundreds or however many more. I think factors like being overdue. I think more people will know that. I think that sort of thing can enter into the process more now than before. But of course, that just remains to be seen.
But you got to get the conversation out there. If I'm a voter and I don't know that, then how can that part sway my vote?
Yeah, I think that's how Bob Newhart won because of the chat he did.
I did a story about every 4 or 5 days on him that he had not won before. I don't know if it helped or not, but I don't see how they could have escaped it.
Yeah, I'm sure it helped because just from those episodes, he was up against one of those Justin Timberlake Saturday Night Live extravaganzas. So just in terms of the episode content, it seemed like Bob Newhart would be an underdog. But that you put that word out there, I'm pretty sure it stuck.
Well, political campaigns, that's where it comes from. I mean, you have to, and well, Oscar campaigns even more than the other awards. You've got to come up with a narrative. You've got to come up with something that people can sink their teeth into. So, well, anyway, drama series. We don't want to keep everybody forever. Daniel?
All right. The 7 nominees for Best Drama Series are The Americans, Better Call Saul, Game of Thrones, The Good Wife, House of Cards, Mad Men, and Orange is the New Black.
So Downton didn't make our cut, and Homeland. That's the 2 at the Emmys?
Downton Abbey was not close. Downton Abbey finished in 16th place in our voting, but Homeland finished 11th, so it was a little closer, but it wasn't really close. 8th place, which just missed out, was actually Empire. That was just 20 points shy of a nomination. And then we had Outlander in 9th place and Justified in 10th.
So as popular as it is with the public, the Emmys didn't embrace Empire, and neither did we.
Except for Taraji.
And The Good Wife, some people ragged on this season. I thought the season 6 was fantastic, so I'm really glad that it got a drama series nomination. I'm a little surprised that, with all the Outlander love, that the star Katrina Balfe didn't get in, or didn't get in for drama series either.
It's and one thing that bothers me, and I have a bone to pick with other Gold Derby users, is that you guys got it right with The Americans. You nominated it for drama series, you nominated it for drama actor, and you nominated Lois Smith for guest actress. Why don't you guys embrace Kerry Russell as much? Like, how does she not get in with that group?
I'll defend in a way, and you know how much I love that show, but it's and there's nothing against her by any means. But as you said a moment ago about the point totals, there's certain categories that are so loaded with people, very strong contending people, that it's just hard to break through. Even before nominations, we couldn't figure out. You could have had another 6 or 7 after the ones that got nominated at the Emmys on drama lead actress, and they would have all still just been just as valid.
And it's true. Like when I said about the weird point totals, the top 13 women in Best Drama Actress had enough points to get Best Actor nominations, and Kerry Russell is actually included in that. So all of these women need to become.
People were voting for her. There was just too many ladies in front of her.
Yeah.
All right, 3 categories to go. These are not Emmy categories. These are ones we've done for years and years and years, and we love them. And I'll do the first one here, and it's Breakthrough Performer of the Year. One qualification is you could not have been nominated for Breakthrough Performer before, and we have to just discuss internally who qualifies here. Who, to me, if you've had like an Emmy nomination or Oscar nominations, things like that, you don't qualify. It's making a big leap in your career. So here are our 6 for this year. Titus Burgess, Carrie Coon, Ellie Kemper, Ben Mendelsohn, Gina Rodriguez, and Finn Wittrock. I don't think we could have, if we had drawn them out of a hat, the 3 of us, I don't think we could have come up with a better 6.
Absolutely.
That's a good list.
And the interesting thing is here, and maybe someone will say, but hey, Carrie Coon was nominated for Best Breakthrough Performance at the Gold Derby Film Awards also, if they are paying that much attention. Maybe I'm the only one who knows that. But it's interesting. Last year was such a great breakthrough year for her. The Leftovers is her first ever TV show, and Gone Girl was her first ever feature film. So I think it's completely justified that she's nominated for breakthrough in both.
Right, and we talked about her even when we were at putting the candidates in, and we just felt like she can't help it that her big year has been in both TV and film in the same year. So if she'd gotten the Oscar nomination, though, Daniel would not have won that battle.
But missing out, just 6 points out of this category was Constance Wu, but she did get a Comedy Actress nomination, so there's that. John Oliver was in 8th place. And Katrina Balfe, or however you pronounce her name, I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong, Internet, she finished in 9th place. She actually got more votes in this category than her co-star, Sam Heughan, who finished in 10th place.
Well, the other thing I love now that I'm looking at them is all 6 are nominated in their categories as well. So if we were taking bets or doing odds on these things, which we don't do, I don't know how you would even rank these in terms of predictions. I think we all know who we might vote for, but I don't know. Number 1 is probably, in my mind, just as close as number 6 in terms of what the result could be.
Right. Hey, Daniel, do you happen to have the list of who won this last year?
Who? Oh, shoot. I can get that in one.
Was it maybe Uzo?
It had to be Uzo, right?
It was not Uzo. Let me get that in 1 second.
So I'll just do the next category then.
Sure. Well,
okay, so this is Ensemble of the Year, and this could be a drama, a comedy, a limited series, a movie, pretty much anything. So the 6 nominations for Best Ensemble are American Horror Story Freak Show, Game of Thrones, Mad Men, Orange is the New Black, Parks and Recreation, and Veep.
That's another one that's going to, I don't know how I would predict it. They all did so well across the board.
And this was a category where it wasn't even close. 6th and 7th place, there was a 68-point margin of difference. 7th place, again, for Empire, just missed out. Although not just missed out, it was pretty far out here. Outlander was in 8th, Downton Abbey was in 9th, and The Good Wife was in 10th. And I do have that information for you. Last year's Breakthrough Performance winner was Alison Tolman.
Oh, yeah, of course. And who was if you have it, who was our ensemble winner last year?
Ensemble winner, I'm pretty sure that was Orange is the New Black. And yes, it was Orange is the New Black.
Right, okay. And you get the last category here, Daniel, and well, you tell them who it is, and then we'll talk about how we came up with the names.
All right, these are the nominees for Best Performer of the Year. This consolidates everybody: comedy, drama, movie, miniseries, variety. If you were in it, you were eligible for it. So the nominees are Viola Davis, John Hamm, Taraji P. Henson, Amy Poehler, Amy Schumer, and Jeffrey Tambor.
What I was going to say is we always have a disagreement just among ourselves, not who gets in the category, like the long list, but when I vote, I want somebody who has done several things over the course of the year, 2 or 3 or 4 things that got my attention. So, an Allison Janney last year especially, or people like that, or if somebody hosted the Oscars and they had a great series, and just that's how I vote. Other people are like, if somebody had a really strong role, even just one role, if they were a conversation piece for the season, that's who they like to vote for. So everybody has their own way they like to think of that category.
And I think we sort of got that on both counts. I mean, you have John Hamm, who, the big, talking points of that last season of Mad Men, but he also had Kimmy Schmidt, and then you had Amy Poehler, who also did the Golden Globes, in addition to the Parks and Rec finale, and then you had Viola and Taraji, who were the huge conversation starters. Same with Amy Schumer and Jeffrey Tambor. I really, really like the diversity in this category. I mean, in terms of just variety, drama, comedy, we have 4 women here. It's really nice to see such a broad number of people in this category.
Do you have handy there who won that last year?
Last year, the last 2 years actually, that was Bryan Cranston. So the only previous winner in this category is Amy Poehler. She won in 2012. So she was the last non-Bryan Cranston winner.
Well, it's a lot of fun. Listen, guys, we appreciate it, and we thank anybody who's watched this live. We'll also have the video up with a story very soon. In fact, the nomination list, if you missed anything, Daniel's written that. It'll be on the homepage in a minute or two. We'll open up the prediction center so you can start voting. But listen, you got a long time to vote. This is a much longer Emmy season this year because it's all back on a network other than NBC. So you've got all the way till September 11th to vote on these. So think about them. You can always vote now, come back, change things. It doesn't matter to us. And then we'll announce, I think, the Wednesday maybe before the Emmys.
Yeah, Wednesday the 16th.
Yeah, so just a couple of other notes. If you want to know any Emmy episodes for practically everybody that's entered this year, nominated, there's a little Emmy button at the top of your homepage, our homepage. Click on that and it'll say 2015 Emmy episodes. We've gotten every one of them. The networks and PR reps have been very nice, other than one show, which we won't mention. And so they're all there, and that'll help you to start viewing those and see who you want to predict. And what else? So Emmy interviews are starting back. We interviewed the 6 or 7 of us. I think 58 people that wound up being nominated this year. That included stars and producers and behind-the-scenes folks. And that was out of about 200 total interviews. So we interviewed a lot of people in April, May, and June, and now people are coming to us that are nominated that haven't interviewed with us in the spring and summer that are going to be interviewed. And so watch for those. That'll happen the next 3 weeks or so. Tony Hale is first. He'll be on this Friday. Daniel's got somebody lined up for this Friday. Who is that?
Derek Waters, who created Drunk History, which is up for Best Variety Sketch.
And a lot of people are asking to be interviewed, people that I would have never even expected. So keep that in mind as you watch. Some legendary kind of people that are nominated at the Emmys are going to be interviewed by us. So watch out for that.
I just want to further illustrate, 58 nominees out of 200 and so interviews. So that basically, if you do an interview with us now, you have about a 1 in 4 chance of winning, better than you had before. So
last year it was even better than that. When we did our folder after it was over of Emmy winner, like an Emmy winners folder, it wound up being a lot of people. So come to us, John Hamm. Come to us, Amy Poehler, if you're finally wanting to get an Emmy and you've never won before, and others. We're accommodating to lots of people. So
we don't discriminate.
We do not. We do not. If you're an Emmy nominee, we will interview you.
Yeah, we only discriminate on the basis of race and gender and religion. That's it.
Well, guys, thank you very much. And we're right on the money here, 1 hour. That's what we were hoping for. So get in there and vote, and we will see you back here for more interviews, and then we'll have our winners announcement in the middle of September. And thank you very much.